The other typifying event of that COVID period was Scott Morrison, that seemed like the ultimate Conservative candidate, was proven to be one of the most illiberal prime ministers that we've had, certainly in my lifetime, even though he had rhetoric of liberal conservative values. When the pressure was on, he crumbled and turned illiberal. And the quintessential moment of this is when 250,000 people, and that's a conservative estimate. If you missed this, you weren't paying attention. 250,000 Australians from across the nation who were segmented out of the population. They were fired from their jobs routinely, or maybe they'd taken leave without pay. They were not allowed to have beers with their friends publicly. They got in the car, came from all over, and arrived in Canberra with their own food and their petrols in the car, their camper vans, their RVs, their trucks, and they arrived onto the field in front of the Australian Parliament to ask the Prime Minister of Australia to vote for the bill that was being tabled in Parliament that would strike down all the mandates throughout the nation, because federal law is higher than state law. And when they were crying out for help from a conservative, supposedly liberal, supposedly evangelical, excuse me, Jesus Christ, can I have a cup of water or an extra coat to wear, sort of come to Jesus moments, they rock up desperate and crying out for help. And the supposed liberal, conservative, evangelical prime minister rocked up on national TV and said, "Go home." Well, those people did go home, Scott Morrison and the ALP, who were supportive of that decision and in state government control right throughout the nation. They did go home, and they never returned to blue or red in the electoral cycle. Scott Morrison has a lot to answer for. However, looking forward, let's actually dig down into the further stats in the 2025 election.